Hello and welcome to English Luma, the podcast where you can improve your English through natural conversations and real-life topics.
We are so happy to have you with us today.
Whether you are listening at home, on the way to school, or while relaxing, thank you for joining us.
Today's topic is school life. What students do every single day at school.
We will talk about morning routines, classes, friends, teachers, homework, school clubs, and a lot more.
It is going to be a great episode. We hope you enjoy it and pick up some useful English along the way.
Let's get started. Jack, let's start from the very beginning of your school day. What time do you wake up in the morning?
I usually wake up at around 7 o'clock. It's not always easy, especially on Monday mornings.
I think most students feel the same way. What do you do after you wake up?
First, I wash my face and brush my teeth. Then I go downstairs for breakfast. I always try to eat something before school because I can't concentrate on an empty stomach.
What do you usually have for breakfast?
Usually something simple, a bowl of cereal or toast with butter and jam. Sometimes I have eggs if there's enough time. And of course, a glass of orange juice.
That sounds like a good start to the day. Do you prepare your school bag the night before or in the morning?
I try to prepare it the night before. That way I don't forget anything important. I once forgot my homework because I packed my bag in a hurry. I never want to do that again.
Very wise. How do you get to school?
I take the bus. It takes about 20 minutes. I usually listen to music or look out the window and think about the day ahead.
What do you usually do when you arrive at school?
I meet my friends near the entrance, and we chat for a while before the first class starts. It's a nice way to ease into the day. We talk about football, things we watched, or just whatever is on our minds.
That sounds fun. Do you enjoy going to school every day?
Honestly, yes. Most days. Of course, there are mornings when I would rather stay in bed, but once I am there and with my friends, I am always glad I came.
Let's talk about your classes. How many lessons do you have each day?
Usually 6 or 7 lessons. Each one is about 45 minutes long, with short breaks in between.
That is quite a full day. What is your favorite subject?
Definitely English. I love the fact that it opens so many doors. I can watch films, read books, travel, and talk to people from all over the world, all because of English.
That is a beautiful way to think about it. What other subjects do you enjoy?
I also really enjoy history. Learning about the past is like reading a long, dramatic story. Every event has a cause, a consequence, and real people behind it. I find that fascinating.
I completely agree. What about mathematics? Do you like it?
Sometimes. It can be difficult, but when I solve a hard problem, I feel a real sense of achievement. It is like a puzzle. Not always fun in the moment, but satisfying at the end.
Which subject do you find the most challenging?
Chemistry, without a doubt. There are so many formulas and reactions to memorize. And if you miss one lesson, it is very hard to catch up. I have to work extra hard in that class.
Do you ever ask for extra help from your teachers?
Yes, I do. I am not afraid to ask questions. My teachers are always happy to explain things again after class. I think asking for help is actually a sign of intelligence, not weakness.
Absolutely. That is a very mature attitude, Jack. Now let's talk about break time. What do you usually do during the short breaks between lessons?
I usually just walk around with my friends, stretch my legs, and get some fresh air if the weather is nice. Sometimes we go to the snack bar and grab something to drink.
And what about lunchtime? Is it a long break?
Yes, we have about 45 minutes for lunch. It's one of my favorite parts of the day, to be honest.
Do most students eat together in the cafeteria?
Yes, the cafeteria gets very busy at lunchtime. It's quite noisy, but also very lively. You can sit with your class or mix with students from other years.
What do you usually eat for lunch?
I often bring a packed lunch from home, usually a sandwich, some fruit, and a small snack. But on Fridays, I sometimes buy a hot meal from the school canteen as a little treat.
What kind of hot food does the canteen serve?
They usually have 2 or 3 options, something like pasta, rice with vegetables, or a soup. It's not gourmet food, but it's warm and filling, which is all you need after a long morning of classes.
Do you ever skip lunch?
Never. After 4 or 5 lessons, I am always very hungry. I don't know how anyone could skip lunch. Food gives you the energy to get through the afternoon.
Ha! I think most people would agree with you on that. Let's talk about teachers. Do you have a favorite teacher?
Yes, my English teacher is my favorite. She is very kind, patient, and enthusiastic. She makes every lesson feel engaging, even grammar, which can sometimes be dry.
What do you think makes a truly good teacher?
A good teacher listens. They notice when a student is struggling and they find a different way to explain things instead of just repeating the same words louder. They also create a safe space where you're not afraid to make mistakes.
That is a wonderful answer. What is the atmosphere like in your classroom?
It depends on the subject and the teacher, honestly. In some classes, it is very relaxed and there is a lot of discussion. In others, it is quieter and more focused. I like both, depending on my mood.
Do you participate a lot in class? Do you raise your hand and answer questions?
I try to. Sometimes I am not 100% sure of the answer, but I have learned that it is better to try and be wrong than to say nothing at all. My teachers appreciate the effort.
Do you enjoy group projects?
Yes, I do. They can be a little chaotic sometimes, but I love the energy. Everyone brings something different to the table. I always come away having learned something I wouldn't have discovered on my own.
Are there any challenges with working in groups?
Sometimes, yes. Not everyone contributes equally. Some people put in a lot of effort, while others do very little. That can be frustrating. But a good group learns to divide the work fairly and support each other.
Homework, a word that many students dread. How much homework do you usually get, Jack?
It really depends on the week. Sometimes it is manageable, maybe an hour or 2 in the evening. Other times, especially before exams or when projects are due, it can take up most of the evening.
How do you organize your time so that everything gets done?
I use a planner. Every evening I write down what I need to do, and I order the tasks by priority. I always start with the most difficult subject while my mind is still fresh, and leave the easier tasks for later.
That's a smart approach. Where do you prefer to study? At home or somewhere else?
I like the school library a lot. It is quiet, there are no distractions, and being around other students who are also studying motivates me. At home, it is sometimes hard to focus because my younger brother can be quite noisy.
Ha! Do you ever study with friends?
Yes, sometimes we form small study groups, especially before big tests. We quiz each other, share notes, and explain things to one another. Teaching something to a friend is actually one of the best ways to learn it yourself.
What do you do when you come across something you don't understand?
I first try to work it out on my own. Then I check my textbook or search online. If I'm still stuck, I ask a classmate or my teacher. I never just skip over something I don't understand. That always causes problems later.
Do you use technology to help you study?
Yes, quite a lot actually. I watch educational videos on YouTube, use apps to practice vocabulary, and sometimes I listen to podcasts in English, like this one, to keep my listening skills sharp.
We love hearing that. Does your school have clubs and extracurricular activities?
Yes, there are loads of options. There's a drama club, a photography club, a debate team, a science club, a chess club, and of course several sports teams. There really is something for every type of student.
Which activities are you involved in?
I'm on the school basketball team and I recently joined the debate club. Both are very different, but I enjoy them equally.
Tell me more about the debate club. What do you actually do there?
We are given a topic. It could be anything from technology and education to environmental issues. And we have to argue either for or against it. Sometimes you have to defend a position you don't even personally agree with, which is a great exercise in thinking and communication.
That sounds like a fantastic way to build confidence.
It really is. The first time I spoke in front of the group, I was terrified. My hands were shaking. But now I actually look forward to it. It has made me much more comfortable speaking in public.
And what about basketball? How serious is it?
We train 3 times a week after school, and we compete against other schools in the region. Last year, we won the regional championship, which was an incredible feeling. The whole school was celebrating.
Wow, congratulations. Do you think extracurricular activities are important for students?
Absolutely. They teach you things that no classroom lesson can. Teamwork, resilience, how to handle pressure, how to win gracefully and lose with dignity. They also make school life much more enjoyable and memorable.
Let's talk about something almost every student finds stressful. Exams. How do you feel when exam season comes around?
Honestly, I feel nervous. My stomach feels tight and I have difficulty sleeping the night before a big exam. But I've come to accept that this is completely normal. A little nervousness actually keeps you sharp.
How do you prepare for exams? What is your strategy?
I start revising at least 2 weeks before. I don't try to cram everything into the last night. That never works. Instead, I review a little bit each day, practice past exam papers, and make summary notes for each topic.
Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the pressure?
Sometimes, yes. When multiple exams fall in the same week and there are also projects due, it can feel like too much. In those moments, I remind myself to take it one step at a time and not try to do everything at once.
What do you do to look after your mental health during stressful periods?
I make sure I still take breaks. I go for a walk, listen to music, or just sit outside for a few minutes. I also talk to my friends or my parents when I am feeling overwhelmed. It always helps to say things out loud instead of keeping them inside.
Do you think schools place too much pressure on students these days?
That is a big question. I think grades are important, but they are not everything. A student's well-being, mental health, and happiness matter just as much. Some schools push students too hard and forget that they are young people, not just results on a page.
Very well said. Balance is everything.
Exactly. Study hard, but also rest, laugh, and enjoy being young. You will never get these years back.
School is not just about studying, of course. Let's talk about the social side. How important are friendships to you at school?
Incredibly important. My friends make every difficult day easier. When something goes wrong, a bad grade, a tough lesson, knowing that your friends are there makes a huge difference.
How did you make your closest friends at school?
Some of them I met on the very first day of school, years ago. We were nervous newcomers together, and that shared experience bonded us. Others I met through sports or group projects. Shared interests bring people together naturally.
Have you ever had any conflicts or disagreements with friends at school?
Of course, you can't spend that much time with people without occasional disagreements. But I've learned that honest communication resolves most problems. If something bothers me, I say it calmly rather than letting it build up.
That's very mature. Is there much social pressure at school? Pressure to fit in or be a certain way?
Yes, there can be, especially when you're younger. But as you get older, you become more comfortable with who you are. You realize that trying to impress everyone is exhausting, and that the right friends will like you exactly as you are.
Beautiful. Do you have a school tradition or event that you particularly look forward to each year?
We have an end-of-year school trip, which is always amazing. Last year, we went to a city I had never visited before. We spent 2 days exploring museums, trying local food, and just having fun together outside of school. It's the kind of memory that stays with you forever.
We are almost at the end of today's episode. Before we go, let's reflect on the bigger picture. Why do you think school matters, Jack?
School gives you knowledge, of course. But more than that, it gives you the tools to keep learning for the rest of your life. It teaches you how to think, how to solve problems, and how to work with others.
It also helps you discover who you are, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Through the subjects you love, the activities you try, the friends you make, and yes, even the failures you experience, you slowly figure out what kind of person you want to be.
And what advice would you give to a student who is struggling and doesn't enjoy school very much?
I would say, find your thing. It might not be in the classroom. It might be a sport, a club, a friendship, or one teacher who believes in you. Once you find something that connects you to school in a positive way, everything starts to feel a little easier.
That is wonderful advice. Thank you so much, Jack, for such an honest and thoughtful conversation today.
It was my pleasure. I hope listeners found it useful and maybe recognized a little of themselves in what we talked about.
That's all for today's episode of English Luma. Thank you so much for listening.
We hope you enjoyed the conversation and that your English is a little stronger for it.
If you want to practice, try answering today's questions yourself, out loud, on your own. That is one of the best ways to build your speaking confidence.
Until next time, keep learning, keep listening.
And keep growing with English Luma. See you in the next episode.